I've only done a couple podcasts in the past, and both times I was like, I don't want to listen to myself talk.
What podcasts have you done in the past?
Just some shit back in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you're originally from?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. I was tattooing there for the first 8 years of my career.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What brought you up to Colorado then?
The mountains.
Yeah.
And a vibe change. Just getting out of the Southeast.
Yeah. Did you enjoy Atlanta or no? Were you like born and raised there?
I was born and raised like bumfuck nowhere, Georgia. But then moved to Atlanta when I graduated high school. And me and Atlanta always had like a love-hate relationship because like it was like, yeah, I'm in the city, but I always saw it as a stepping stone. And then I ended up kind of living there for like 11 years, and the traffic's terrible and the humidity is terrible.
Oof, and I hate humidity.
and it's just, the vibe is just not I grew out of the city vibe pretty quickly.
That's
faster
fair.
than I expected.
Yeah. Living in a city isn't all it's cut out to be.
I mean, like, Atlanta's such a tough one because it's got the culture and diversity, and the food's amazing, and the art is huge, and music is huge, but it's like the logistics of the city I couldn't handle anymore.
Like the way it's laid out?
Yeah, it's crowded. The traffic is horrific. People drive like they are late to their own funeral. And so like
that just sounds like when I go down to Denver.
See, like Denver, people will talk about Denver traffic and I'm like, that's adorable.
Really?
Yeah, it is cute in comparison. Try sitting at the same turn signal for like 5 changes and you still haven't made it through. That's how Atlanta is.
So is it kind of like Dallas? Have you ever driven in Dallas? Because Dallas fucking shit, and people are super aggressive.
Okay, then yeah. Like I definitely got some like angry. I got the you can get shot in Atlanta too. Yeah, I made a story shortly after moving to Denver because I was used to driving in Atlanta and like I was not driving aggressively, but I guess for Denver I was because I was running a little late, and I literally like did the thing on the interstate where I like went ahead and then I kind of slowed down and scooched in. There was at least 2 car lengths between me and the car behind me, but they were so mad at me. Oh, no. And I made a story about this old white man being like, at me, and I'm like, girl. And somebody, because I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm from Atlanta or what, but like, that was unnecessary. And this person messaged me and was like, oh yeah, the first day I moved to Atlanta, I got shot in traffic in the leg just from someone else. Dude, that's fucking crazy. I was just like, you might want to consider moving. Yeah. Like I did.
That happened to the dude who introduced my parents. This guy like cut him off on the highway and he got road rage, flipped him off, honked the horn, whatever. So the guy followed him to a convenience store and then shot him in the head and he died.
And murdered him.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why we don't road rage.
Yeah, that's why
we don't road rage. Like, I would be so mad if that's how I died.
Is by somebody like
if I got road raged by like a white man. Oh my god, I had an experience on South Boulder Road where I was like, it was just a stupid experience, and I kind of gave the guy the finger, and then he was like, oh yeah, you better like follow me, and then I just took the first turn I could because I'm like, I'm not getting murdered by some stupid white boy in Colorado because he's mad at my finger. So I was like, that's so dumb.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. This is officially episode 10. Woo woo! We've done 30 episodes of the podcast, and in this special episode, I sit down with Cori James, who's the owner and proprietor of a tattoo shop in Boulder called Love You Tattoo. Not only do we discuss apprenticeships, how to run a tattoo shop, but we get a little bit of her journey and how she made it here to Colorado. So please enjoy and share with your friends and family. Thanks!
Hey everybody, this is Tattoo Consciousness. This is episode 10, and I'm here with Cori.
Hello.
Yay. You're an owner and proprietor of a tattoo shop in Boulder, so kind of tell me a little bit about that and yourself.
Yeah. Hi, Cori James here. I opened Love You Tattoo here in Boulder in 2021. This September will be our 5-year anniversary.
Oh, damn.
We're having a big party. So everybody come September 5th. I've been tattooing. It'll be 14 years next month. No, June. 14 years in June.
It's hard to keep track.
I can't, yeah. But like once I hit 15, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I've been tattooing for 15 years.
You're finally not gonna be like a baby.
I know, yeah. Finally! I could get so many gold teeth. Just kidding. Yeah, I started out in Atlanta. First 8 years of my career was in Atlanta. Started out in some pretty toxic environments like a lot of people did in the early 2000s and made my way to Colorado and opened
Yeah. What was it like going from Atlanta to Colorado? The biggest differences, especially like within the tattoo community. I feel like the tattoo community here, at least what I've experienced, has been so nice and like welcoming, and I haven't ever had that with a tattoo community before. They're usually like rock stars, egotistical, you know, like the vibe. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the vibe in Atlanta is a little bit more like competitive, like this shop versus that shop. Like if you get tattooed there, you can't get tattooed here because we're gonna be mad at you, like that kind of thing.
Oh, that's weird.
It's so ridiculous.
That's very strange.
I know, but there was like there's so many beefs between so many shops in Atlanta, and like that was another reason I was ready to get out of there. Is like, if I left one shop, there was a high likelihood that I would just walk into another situation that was going to be the exact same. So, yeah. But the here, I feel like it's so much better. I mean, I have homies that you've interviewed, Destiny and Kirsty, and my friend Sandy, who owns Tattoo Du Monde in Denver. She's the one that like encouraged me to open this place because I was working for her, and she was like, "Girl, Boulder needs a cool shop."
She was like, "You should open a shop." Because usually when you leave a shop, shop owners are like, "I fucking hate you."
No, she was literally like, "Why are you commuting from Boulder? Like, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Cause I don't know." Because I didn't really like vibe with any of the shops that were here, but we loved living in Boulder. And honestly, the commute was the reason I started going, maybe I could open my own shop and then I don't have to drive 40 minutes. And somehow it all just worked out. And yeah, Sandy was very supportive. She was like, "Girl, if I can do this shit, you can do this shit. I will help you in any way you need." Like, she was just very, very supportive. That's my day one. I love that bitch. Everybody calls Sandy.
What was
Sandy
the hardest thing about opening your shop and your studio?
Honestly, the first couple years were a little rocky, just with managing human beings and emotions and stuff. But once that was corrected and more communication, which from the beginning I was always just like, "Y'all, I've never done this, so please tell me if I'm doing it wrong. I've never owned a shop. I want feedback. I want you guys to tell me if you need me to change the way we're running things. If you like this, if you don't like that." And some people just aren't great with communication, and I think once that was taken care of, it's been really
easy sailing.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy.
Did it take a while to find like a good clique of people that worked together, or?
I think it all just happened pretty organically, and very luckily everyone that's here now has been here almost from the beginning.
Oh, that's awesome.
And no, I think we really lucked out because I think putting that, you guys just like talk to each other. Like, my big thing was like, I'm not your mom.
Yeah,
I'm the owner. I'm not your babysitter. If you find something annoying that someone's doing, that's not my problem. Yeah. You should go tell them and give them a chance to stop doing it instead of like, like gossiping or like resenting or anything like that. And it's just been, I think everybody here now is just so open to just communicating and being open and saying like, "Hey, that's bothering me," and the other person not getting offended, but being like, "Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know I was bothering." And just being like, "My bad. I didn't even know I was bothering you." Because like, I personally have sensory issues around certain things, so I've just been very open about telling people like, "Hey, sometimes when it's like a lot of talking, if I like look over at you and it's really loud and I just give you the little like, that's just like, for me personally, I feel like it's getting a little too loud. We just need to bring it down just the tiniest little bit." And everybody's very respectful. And I am so lucky that everybody here is as great as they are.
What were like the steps you took to open a shop? I don't think I've ever actually talked to, like, I've talked to shop owners before, but not about like opening a shop, how they found people and like all of that stuff.
Yeah. For this place, I feel like it went really smoothly. Like, the first bit, I had help from friends and community, and my husband is very handy and helped me with a lot of the build out stuff, all of the build out stuff, including the stripes, which my crazy ass went back through with a tiny paintbrush and fixed every imperfection because I was like, I'm gonna look at this shit every day, so it needs to be perfect. But no, it was actually pretty smooth. I lucked out. I had a great real estate agent, and he was very helpful because once again, I was just like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never rented a commercial space, and he was like, I got you, dog. And he was just great. Love that dude. And then first couple of people was a person that I knew already, and then Liana, I posted about it on Instagram that I was opening a shop, and Liana had been wanting to move to Boulder, and she was living in DC. She reached out, and then Emmy was friends with, I think, like Kirsty and Destiny, and had talked about how she was really unhappy in the shop she was in because it was your standard toxic situation. So they just connected us. It was like, you should talk to her, and I was like, all right, cool. And then Claudia was just like the most charming human being ever, and visiting from Italy because she was planning to live here, and just stopped by. Or no, she like DM'd me, and I was like, well, just come talk. Like, you're trying to move here from Italy. Like, we can just chat, and I can see how I can help you. At the time, I was like, I don't have room. I was going to keep it at just 4 of us. And then I was like, well, whatever. If you can find some appointments, you can tattoo here while you're visiting until you're official, because she was having to bounce back and forth to Italy. And then we just all loved her so much. We were like, we'll find space. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I was like, you can't go anywhere else. And then Al was my apprentice, and I met them tattooing them, and they were just so cool and hilariously, like nonchalantly, was like, oh, so because I was tattooing them in Denver, and they were like, oh, you're opening your own shop? Like, I do illustrations if you ever want like stickers or anything. And I did the thing where I was like, oh, cool, let me see your art, that thing. And then they showed me their art, and I was like, damn, you're like really good at this shit, what the fuck? And I was like, they were already doing traditional artwork, and I was like, well, if you ever want to learn to tattoo, at least I don't have to teach you how to draw. Yeah. Like I can just teach you how to apply what you're already doing to people. And yeah, it was all just very organic. It worked out.
All the puzzle pieces fell into place.
Weirdly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What's something over your years, like, because when did you open up the shop? How long had you been tattooing for?
In 2021, I had been tattooing for almost 10 years.
And so I'm sure you've worked at numerous shops by that time. So what was something that you were like, I don't want this to happen at my shop, and then this is something that I'd like to implement from working at other shops, you know what I mean?
Totally. I knew one of the things I say about where I started out back in Atlanta in one of those toxic situations is like, I learned how to do great tattoos. Okay, I learned how to do really good tattoos. I don't want to sound like I learned how to do good tattoos. And I learned what kind of tattooer I didn't want to be. Like the way they talked to people, the way they treated women in particular, the way they just were like this fucking macho bullshit. And then I working for Sandy. Honestly, it was the first example of working for an owner who treated everyone with respect, was open to communication. It was more like a team and not like I am your overlord, because the whole thing of like, I'm the owner, so I'm above the rules thing. I had experienced that so many times. But I have 50 rules for you guys, but they don't apply to me. Yeah, and working for Sandy just inspired me of like, oh, you can like own a shop and run it in a way that actually works, because I had witnessed so many times like working for people and at first thinking like, oh, this is going to be great, this person's nice, and then slowly watching the like owner ego thing happen and just being like, ugh. I literally for years was like, I'm never gonna own a shop. I don't want to. And then I did. Now I do.
I feel like that's always what happens with tattoo artists. Is they're just like, oh fuck, I need to, like, either they open a private studio and it expands, or they just end up opening a shop.
Yeah.
And it's hard too because they've never done anything like that, and we're artists, so we're like, some of us are not business oriented people.
No, I am not a business person. I made this shop as easy to run as humanly possible by being very heavy on teamwork and booth rent, because then there's less paperwork for me.
Yeah, and then you don't have to deal with like if somebody's not making money, you're just like,
exactly.
Yeah. What do you guys do with like I know a lot of artists like right now are kind of struggling. The economy is a little like shit. So what are you guys doing like social media wise, or like to advertise for yourselves and get your artists out there and stay consistently booked for everybody? Like, do you ever worry about that as a shop owner?
On occasion, but I really just lean into this, like, if you are confident that the people are going to show up, the kind of if you build it, they will come kind of mentality, which is a little bit like woo-woo manifesty.
No, we love that.
Yeah, but I do kind of lean into that mentality because it's like more of the abundance mentality as opposed to a lack mentality and all these things. And I think we are all just consistently just trying to stay active on social media. I mean, Instagram sucks so hard nowadays, but I think also just creating the environment that we have is keeping us consistent, you know.
The clients care about being happy.
Yeah. And I think that, like,
they want to be treated like people.
Yeah. And I mean, when everybody was saying that, like, oh, the tattoo boom is over and like we're all gonna like starve now, I was kind of like, I don't think all the shops. I think the bad ones are gonna go. I really do. Like, I think the ones that, if they're still treating people in a way that isn't cohesive with like now, then I think those shops are gonna end. I think those are gonna close. I think they're gonna struggle. But I think the ones that are still treating people with respect and like while also doing quality work are the ones that are gonna hopefully be okay. You know?
I learned, like, whenever I was going through my apprenticeship, because obviously when you start out, you're not doing the best tattoos.
Right.
But I had so many people return. I even had this one client, and they came to me from like a very like prominent person and was like, I'm just gonna get all my tattoos from you now. And I was like, my work is like shit compared to that person.
But you got the vibe,
manner and the way that you treat them and everything. What do you guys do at your shop, and what do you do with your clients to like make them feel comfortable and just like give them a good experience?
I think we just go for not being intimidating. I mean, I will say, and I think it can be a little bit of a controversial opinion nowadays, that some shops have swung so far to the other end of non-toxicity that they're like kind of getting walked all over. And I think we kind of sit in that middle ground of like, we want you to feel comfortable, we want you to feel safe, we want you to feel like you can be yourself and like and speak up for yourself, but you also, we're not going to let you be disrespectful. We're not going to let you walk all over us or try and like abuse us. So I think we just keep it really like chill. We just want people to feel like they're coming in and hanging out with their friends.
How do you maintain boundaries with clients and like still making them feel safe, but also being like, I am a business, and like, you know, I've gotten in situations where I just like redraw stuff over and over again. Because I'm like, I want to make this person happy, and I don't want them to think I'm mean, but it's also like, it's a business still, so it's hard.
And there's a balance there. I think that, you know, we all have to have our flexibility around design, of course. Like, never want anyone to feel pressure to do anything that they don't want or get a design that they're not 1,000,000% happy with. But every now and then, I think once like a certain level of, I'm not sure, like, can we change this? Can we change that? Can we change this? I kind of just have to like look them in the eyes and be like, are you sure you're ready? And it's okay if you're not. We'll rebook you. Like, but like, we have to respect each other's time, you know, and this is my career, and I've set some pretty strict boundaries around like deposits and no shows and all that kind of stuff. And I think once you have those boundaries, people do take them seriously, and they treat you like, oh, right, this is your job. Like, at the same time, I know that this industry is a luxury industry in the sense that, like, I ain't a doctor. You ain't gotta be here. It's not gonna like, you know, it's not a requirement, but like, it's still my job. It's how I pay for things, and it's how I live and feed myself, you know, like there's that balance of treating the art as art and people as people, while also being like, it is still a business and it's still my income and how I live. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Okay. When did you find that balance with your work and clients and everything? Because I know, like, initially it's hard. That's like, definitely. Like, tattooing is hard, but then it's like dealing with people. It's hard.
Of course.
Like, whether or not you love your clients, you have amazing clients. Everybody's, you know, there's just situations you get into that you can never have predicted.
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it just takes some years of like really feeling established and also getting to the point where you feel like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. You know, like I I am the professional here. In the beginning, you're like, I don't know, I guess, like if that's what you want, like sure. But at some point, I think you have to start going like, this is what I do. This is my specialty. This is my career. I do know what I'm talking about, like in a polite way, of course. But I think it just took some years and getting out of the shop that I started out in, because that was very like, no, do whatever, just make money. It doesn't fucking matter. Just take money.
Mentality.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's a walking billboard, and it's like, you don't want to do a subpar tattoo.
Exactly.
Style. I would way rather be like, hey, go to this friend of mine. Then
exactly.
do that to somebody.
Yeah. And like I started putting it, once I left that shop in particular, which was 5 years in, I started putting on my website, this is what I do. Do you want me to try something I don't know how to do? Like I would put it that way. Like, this is what I'm specializing in. This is what I know I'm really good at. If you really want this other style, you sure you want me to do it? Like, I know your cousin said I was nice, but like, you don't want me to do a realistic portrait of your grandma, okay? Like, I'm just telling you right now. It's not
gonna look like Graham.
Graham gonna be looking like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Jean-Claude Van Graham. Yeah, so I'd say probably like 5 years in, once I was able to like set boundaries and not be in that environment of like, no, because it was a percentage shop, that whole situation where they're like, no, you just got to bring in that money and like say yes to everything, take whatever walk in. And I would just be like panicking, like, I don't know how to draw that. Yeah. What do you mean? And this was before iPads. I was like tracing paper and red pencil, just being like, So I think it does take a little bit of time, and also it takes having the freedom to set those boundaries, which isn't always the case early on.
So 5 years in, you felt like with those boundaries. What about tattooing in and of itself? When did you feel like comfortable with that, where you finally like had an established style, it was yours, and you felt like technically sound in your making of tattoos?
I started out knowing what I wanted to do and being very specific in like what I wanted to like specialize in. I don't think I really figured it out probably till like 3 or 4 years in, and then I started honing it in. And then I've been doing this shit for 14 years, and I still am like half the time like, I'm just guessing. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Just, can we have fun?
Yeah. Did you ever like jump around with styles or anything like that? No, you were dead set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, traditional just always made sense to me. But without it being like the
oval hold.
Exactly. And like I kind of approached it with the mindset of, number one, it makes sense in my brain and how I function as an artist. Like I can draw it. And number two, it's been around for a long time, so it's not really going anywhere. And I kind of like the longevity of that in an art career, I think is important to consider at times, like I kind of was like, well, it's not a fad. Yeah. People have been doing it since 1920. So I guess I'll do that. And I just really like the way it looked.
Yeah, traditional.
So it's just all win-win-win.
Yeah. What was the hardest thing whenever you started tattooing for you specifically?
Like in the process?
Or like dealing with clients, or, maintaining a relationship, anything like that pretty much?
I don't know. I think just building confidence in what I was putting on people. I mean, I still struggle with that to this day, where I will just harp on one little thing that I'm like, I didn't get it quite right. That's on that person forever. Zoom in on the photo. And it's there for their whole life. What if they just thought I was nice and they liked me and they hated it and they went home and cried? Like, I think I will forever, I think, struggle with that. But in some ways, I think that can be good, because then you're always trying to do better. You're always trying to grow. Yeah. That and not wanting to shit my pants during line work, because it was just the most stressful.
Line work always takes me so much longer than shaving or anything else.
Anything.
Yeah. And like they're trying to talk to you and you're just like,
I'm like, hush. Yeah. I'd get people to like sit on their hands because they're like hand talkers are moving. Yeah. I'm like, I love you. I love how expressive you are. Put that shit under your butt right now. They're like, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I promise I love you. Please stop moving so much. But yeah, I think to this day, I still think line work is so stressful. And I always say, now it's time for the fun part. They're like, what do you mean? Yeah. I'm like, no, we're done. Yeah. I'm like, oh, now you can talk all you want. You can move and wiggle. I got that shit.
What's your favorite part of tattooing?
I think the color composition.
Yeah.
I love that part. It's the most fun. Even when it's stressful and like you're like, why won't this get solid? I still like once I'm in that part of the process, I'm like, that's when I lock in and I'm like in the zone. Yeah. Everything else, I'm just kind of stressed.
You're just kind of stressed. Oh no! And then when the tattoo gets done, you get stressed.
Yeah. It's like, can you look at it in the mirror and no matter what, people always ask me, do they ask you like, has anyone ever said they don't like the tattoo? And I always respond, not in my face. Yeah, that's all I care about. That's a good response. And as long as it stays that way, I'm fine with that. Just feel free to lie directly at me, because if you tell me you hate it, I might have to quit.
Yeah. I always am like, not today, but is it going to be you? Yeah, am I going to go home and cry?
Am I quitting today?
Yeah. I'm like, you saw the stencil, you know what we're getting into.
Exactly.
Yeah. You mentioned that you have a husband. Mm-hmm. How long have you guys been married for?
It'll be 5 years next or Thursday, actually.
Oh, holy shit. 5 years and 5
5 years and 5. I know. I did a lot in 2021. Oh my God. I know. It's pretty crazy.
How long have you guys been together?
15 years. Sorry. 15 years. We've been together 15 years.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a long time.
I know. It's crazy.
That's great. How'd you guys meet?
I was actually already an apprentice, and I was working at a little Mexican, like a punk rock Mexican restaurant in Atlanta.
Oh, that's cool.
Called Bone Garden. And I was in this friend group, and it was like through a member of the band he was in was a bartender there, and we kind of like met through him, and just been hanging out ever since.
Never stopped. Just said I'll keep you, I guess.
Started hanging out and just never stopped hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then has he been like very supportive and positive with moving to Colorado, as well as like with the shop? You said he's helped out a lot.
Absolutely. He's very good at once I start steamrolling on an idea, which is something I have a tendency to do. Like if I make my mind up that I want to do it, he just is like, all right, I just got to hold on and just see where it goes. Yeah, I'm very grateful because he at no point was he like, are you sure you want to open your own shop? He was like, all right, you want to do it? Let's do it. I'll help you. I'll do what I got to do. And fingers crossed. He's very supportive. Yeah.
How has it been with like, is he an artist? Does he understand kind of tattooing and the world aspects with that? Because I know it's kind of hard with partners who don't know anything about the industry to like come home and you're like venting problems and they're like, it's basically like rocket science to them. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, he was a musician for a very long time, so he was definitely understanding of like the art world and like trying to be an artist as your career. And I think he's always just been so supportive of anything, but he gets it. He actually only has like 6 tattoos though.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which I'm telling you, when I was starting out and I was working with all these heavily tattooed dudes, I was not attracted to that. I was like, let me get a normie. Because all these are I'm turned off completely. Which I was always like, what's that say about me? Because I'm heavily tattooed, but I'm like, ugh.
I don't know. They got a certain personality.
At least those did.
Yeah.
You know? I started out surrounded by, I can't say that they were all bad. I have some friends that I started out early on with that are still good homies of mine and are very, very heavily tattooed men, and I love them to death. But working with, because I was the only female artist at the shop I started out in for the first like 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we kind of brought on one other one in a weird situation, who's a good friend of mine now. Like probably like year 3, but we were both just like, oh my God, this place is a nightmare. Yeah, so just working with all these dudes and seeing a lot of things.
Baby mama drama and just
baby mama drama, ex-wife drama, current wife drama, girlfriend drama, cheating drama, wiping cocaine off my boss's nose at a convention, just like kind of shit. And I was like 23, just like,
yeah, in the trenches.
In the trenches, for real, just like surviving.
Whenever you had your apprentice, what was something that you went into it like from your experience being an apprentice and like kind of the differences between how you were brought up in the industry versus how they were brought up?
I mean, I've just even like the first few months of my apprenticeship being told like, you got to go through this because I went through this. You know, like my mentor made me go buy his cocaine for him. And I'm like, so do you want me to go buy your cocaine? Please don't make me do it. But I just never understood that concept of like, because I got it rough, I'm going to make you have it rough too. So no, I brought on Al and immediately told everyone this is not a hierarchy. You treat them with the same amount of respect we treat each other. They are my apprentice, not the shop apprentice.
Yeah, I don't like that.
If they, if you need help with something, just ask. Don't be bossy and weird, like I just set that rule very early on. It was like, doesn't matter how long you've been tattooing in this shop, we treat each other all the exact same.
I like that. That's nice because like when I was like going through my apprenticeship, I don't fucking know shit. I was like an 18-year-old girl, and I was like, this is my mentor. But it was like the mentality of the shop was like, we're all your mentors. You take out all of our trash, clean all our tubes. I didn't know that. Nobody told me that. So like a couple weeks in, I had one of the artists throw their like trash bag at me because they were like, you didn't take out my fucking trash. And I'm like, I didn't know I needed to. Also, why would I want to take it out now that you're being, know what I mean? Yeah. You're being rude to me. But I like the mentality of just like, they shouldn't be treated lesser or anything like
it's
that.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
No, because like my apprenticeship was 2 years long. And I swear to God, they were like 2 of the most traumatic years of my life and altered my brain chemistry. Like, and it's not like I was abused physically. They didn't harm me in any way like that. But the
shit they'd say and stuff.
Just like being treated like you are at the bottom of the totem pole for 2 years straight. Like nothing I said was my own opinion. Yeah. Everything I did was controlled by everyone around me. Go get us coffee. Go clean those tubes. I made a mess. Go clean up after me. Like that just like kind of broke me in a way. And I was so young, I got my apprenticeship when I was 21, like a week after I turned 21. And I was surrounded by these big burly dudes talking about all their guns and, like their motorcycles and shit. And I was just like, okay, yes, sir. I want this job. And like, this is the career I want to be in. But I also I had mental health issues of my own that it just like harped on. So it was rough. And I would just never want to do that to somebody. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but you went through it, so they got to go through it.
I should abuse Al starting today. We always joke because Al sometimes struggles with the fact that their apprenticeship was so nice like and fluffy. Yeah. So they're like, I feel like people are going to judge me. I was like, what do you want me to do? Hit you? I can if it'll make you feel better. Great.
Yeah, break the generational cycle.
Yes.
Tattooers.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Because like I always think about it, like during my apprenticeship, I lost all confidence in my ability to draw because they tore it to shit constantly.
And sometimes it's not even like constructive criticism. It's just something how they would draw it, and you have to draw it that way. But they won't tell you that. And so then they treat you like shit because they're like, well, I would have drawn it this way. But it's not even like your drawing's bad or anything.
No. It's just... At one point, I had one of my mentors make me keep redrawing finger waves, like Japanese finger waves. I did not want to learn Japanese. I didn't want to do Japanese. But I redrew them so many times that I eventually went back and traced his own halfway through that he had used as an example. And he was like, those aren't good enough. And I was like, bitch, that was yours. You fuck. Like,
And then he was like, actually, those are amazing.
No, I didn't say it because I was like testing him. It didn't matter what I had done. He was going to shit on it, And it like, they did the thing where, you're supposed to like break them down to build them back up. They just forgot the second half. And it's just like,
no compliment sandwich in there at all.
No, it was all just like beating down my confidence. And I constantly was like trying to keep Al as confident in their abilities as possible. Like, even if they fucked it up, I'd be like, dude, we all fucked it up.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So what was it like with being a mentor and being an artist, and sometimes the person draws it a certain way, and that might not be the way you draw it, but it's not necessarily like we talked about with how mentors pull your shit down. How did you ever accidentally do that? Or like,
I tried to not. I would always be like my teaching style, which, was me saying like, this is how I do it. But I think a lot of this career is figuring out how you do it. Yeah. And that was something that my mentors didn't allow. They wanted me to do it like them. They wanted me to be a mini me, or like recreate their style. And it's like, there was no freedom there. So I constantly was saying like, the only thing I would critique is like, that's not going to tattoo well. That's not, those details are too small.
It's not like a tattooable design.
Right. You need to like blow little things up. You need to like create more space to age, you know, stuff like that. Otherwise, I was like, composition, that's all you. Like, if you want feedback on like where this flower should go, I'll give it to you. But if you are in love with this design, I will only critique what needs to change so that it ages well. Yeah. I tried to be good about that.
That's a good way to go about it. It's better than what most people do.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of like try to do the opposite of what I went through and approached it as best I could with this idea of like, I constantly told Al, like, this is how I do it. But once you get machine to skin, you might realize that's not how it works for you, and you need to figure out your own method. And
what needles you like, the ink,
all that. Shit. Yeah. So I just kind of approached it that way.
Yeah, everybody's so different.
Exactly. It's like it's really so true. Like between needle groupings and sizing and curved mags versus regular versus whatever, you know, it's like you got to figure out what suits the way you tattoo. And it just takes time.
Yeah, trial and error, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. On people, and it's permanent, no big deal.
Oh my gosh. Like, did you have them work on fake skin at all or do anything like that?
Yeah, we got fake skin and did that for a few months. And I let them set the pace a lot too, because I was like, I'm not going to make this a 2-year, 5-year fucking bullshit process. Like, I want you to get into your career and start making money and supporting yourself, you know?
It's hard, especially like I quit my job during my apprenticeship. So
so did Al.
That was fucking it.
Same. Yeah. And
your whole life.
But you kind of have to do that if you want to get good enough to support yourself. You have to have it be your support in some ways. And so we did the fake skin, and then when they said, okay, I'm feeling confident enough to do a tattoo in person, I was like, all right, you're gonna tattoo my ass. And we did a little bunny on my leg, and I just like watched and kind of helped, and then they did free tattoos for a while, and then we just kind of watched the progress, and when I and they felt like they could charge money for it, then we talked about it then, and we're like, all right, this is where you're going to start charging at this, and then we'll discuss once we get to another, point. Oh, door. We'll kind of just like keep doing that for the whole time, I guess, like the whole career.
Were there any like appointment only shops when you were coming up and tattooing or
no?
Yeah.
None.
I love the appointment only.
I do too.
It's the best. Great. Yeah.
I know we keep the door locked, which we get like drive-by. We call it a drive-by when people just yank and run because they're like embarrassed because the door's locked. But like literally just give us a second. We'll be there. We just need to come get the door.
They could read what's on the door. I read it.
They could.
I still yanked it.
I know everybody, like, maybe everybody does. That's how we know someone's here now. We hear the and we go door.
Yeah. I primarily pretty much did like all of my apprenticeship in a private studio. I'm so used to that. I love it so much.
I couldn't do private. I don't want my own
only,
company.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was like appointment only. It didn't take walk-ins.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, and then now I'm working at a walk-in shop, and I'm like,
I know you gotta like cut your teeth all over again doing that shit.
I'm like, oh, you want that right now? But I want
to. Yeah. We're very lucky to be able to be appointment only and like stay steady and feel comfortable, and we never get that like rush of people where we get overwhelmed. Because my anxiety is likes knowing exactly what I'm doing, and that's where walk-ins always stress me out.
That's exactly how I feel. And I also like I don't know, this might just be my opinion on walk-ins, but I feel like they're not fully thought out tattoos. It's very spur of the moment.
Yes.
And I want to give people like good quality stuff. And so like I would rather take the time, sit down, get a photo of their limb and like,
But they want it. Right now, they don't care what you're capable of. They just want it.
Yeah. And
that's why it always stressed me out. It's like, y'all don't know what I can do.
Yeah.
You just want something.
They don't even ask for a portfolio. They're just like, right here.
Right here. Like, okay. You say so.
What's something you would say to somebody who like wants to get into the industry? I actually recently got a freaking like random DM of this girl trying to ask me to apprentice her. Didn't show any work. Found me on like Facebook. I was like, girl. She was like, well, I was like, I haven't been tattooing long enough. I'm not going to apprentice anybody first off, which you know that obviously. Look into it. She's like, oh, can you give me some advice? I was like, don't message people. Build a portfolio, go shop to shop. And she's like, well, it doesn't hurt to ask. I got all offended and stuff.
Okay.
You know, I'm like, well, I've been through this, you know, whatever. But what would you say to somebody like to like get into a shop and like the do's and don'ts? And...
For me, my best advice to everybody is start getting tattooed by the people you want to work for, because like I'm never gonna pick a stranger that I'm gonna spend the next year with you hovering over my shoulder. I don't know you. Come get tattooed by me. Get to know me. See if you even like me. Like we just might not click as human beings. Yeah. Like I think that's huge. So I tell people like it is an investment, because they'll be like, oh, but I can't afford a lot of tattoos. Like you gotta work to do it. Then you gotta like it's an investment into finding an apprenticeship is getting tattooed by the people that you admire, their style, their vibe, whatever it is, and like. Because, you know, I have people reach out to me for apprenticeships and they're like sending me watercolors and like very flowy designs. And I'm like,
that's not what I do.
That's not what I do. I couldn't teach you how to tattoo like that. They just want to know how to tattoo. And they think that it's just like a coverall, you know, like you can.
Because you're a tattooer, you can do anything.
You can just, and then they can like do the style stuff. It's like, no, I teach how to tattoo what I like, the style that I understand. So I tell them like, go find people that do this style and they specialize in this style. Go get tattooed by them, get to know them, because that's how I got my apprenticeship. I hung out, I invested and started getting tattooed by people that I looked up to. And I just from personal experience with Al, like I offered the apprenticeship to Al because I thought they were really nice and lovely to be around. And I think that's a big factor. So that's always my advice, because I personally am not going to choose a stranger that just has good art that I've never spoken to, like portfolio this, portfolio that, like,
they're gonna mesh with the shop.
It's like, and we're going to be like this for how long? So that's my advice.
That's great advice.
And save up. Go get the tattoos. They're expensive. And like good tattooers might be really expensive, but like you gotta do it. You gotta invest in your future. Totally. It's like investing in any kind of education. I had to pay for my apprenticeship.
Oh Lord, I was about to ask you about how do you feel about people who
and that's how pay. It is what it is, but that was definitely just they just wanted my money. But they approached it as like, well, it's your education and it's an education into your career. You'd be paying for college, right? And I was like, touche.
Yeah.
All right. I think just in this sense, it's more like you're not paying for the apprenticeship. You're paying for getting to know people and getting your foot in the door.
Yeah, I totally agree. Plus it shows that you're adamant you want it instead of just like messaging somebody online who you've never met and don't know anything about.
And I don't know. That to me is like, I appreciate when people come by, people stop by all the time with their portfolios, and I'm like, look, I appreciate it. I'm happy to look at it. I don't really have feedback other than what I just told you, which is to like go meet people and hang out in shops, be in these spaces, or else
you also might not even like it and then decide it's not for you. I think a lot of people have a warped perspective about the tattoo industry, and then
I agree.
They get into it and they're like, oh, I just doodled part-time. I don't actually want this, because it consumes you.
And it's like, it's hard on your body. It's like hard on time. Like it takes a long time to get established.
You don't get insurance. You don't get no 401k. It's all on you. You got to do your own taxes too.
Exactly. And people just, like TV shows have made it seem like rock star lifestyle. And it's like, in some places, sure, that is the case. But like, it ain't going to be day one.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, no matter where you go or how your career ends up, you're going to cut your teeth in some way. And people have to be ready for that.
Yeah. I like that. That was a great answer. I think that was like my last question I had for you.
Cool.
So if you do me a favor and tell them like where they can book you, that process and everything, and
Cool. So go to my website, CoriJamesTattoo.com, and I have my little schedule an appointment thing. And then my lovely admin, Kai, who is the most enthusiastic and sweetest person on the planet, will talk to you and either say, yeah, we'll get you in, or that's not really Cori's thing, but thank you so much. You're so sweet. Love you. Bye. And follow me on Instagram. Keep an eye out for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you guys are having a party coming up too.
We got a party.
Yeah.
I just started making some like promotional stuff for it, because I'm like, all right, I got to get on this shit. I'm trying to throw like a big shindig.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
September 5th.
Whenever you do get that, I think this won't be out until like middle end of May. So
okay, perfect.
If you have it by that time, I can put it in the video.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'll be on that. So just make sure, and I'll text me, and
I gotta remind you anyway, because I'm gonna need photos of you and videos of you tattooing.
Cool.
So
sick.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
The whole thing. It was so great talking to you.
Yay,
you're so lovely.
Fun.
Yeah, you're super fun and like very expressive. I love it.
I know. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Oh, it's just yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Tattoo Consciousness. Make sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date. And if you'd like to support the podcast, please make sure to check out my website for original art and prints, as well as sharing to your friends and family. See you next time.